Hi guys, welcome to another PCarry12 Productions. This is pretty much my new place, so yeah, I'm here from a new location yet again. And yeah, this is a video I haven't done in a while. A lot has gone on in the past couple of months, so I better get on with it, and I'm just going to pretty much recap on that and give you pretty much a lowdown on what's going on. So, Lion's come out, iOS 5, Beta 4 has come out, and we've got ourselves a whole lot of stuff to talk about. Alright, let's check it. Hello. Right, so the big deal today is that Lion has come out, and it came out I think a few days ago now. So yes, it is here, right here in the App Store. As you can see, it was downloadable 10:30 PM on the 20th of July in Australia, Eastern Australian time, basically. That was here. That was about 12:30 on the 21st of July, 12:30 AM, so just after midnight for New Zealand as well. So that was fun. 10:30 on the dot, bam, it was in the App Store. And it wasn't downloadable for the simple fact, as soon as you clicked on it, you weren't able to download the bad boy. It just crashed. The servers crashed for downloading it, and you couldn't download it. So it took me probably about an hour before I could finally click on it and download it. So that was a real big deal, but once it was downloading at full speed, so I was happy, so it's all good. In about 45 minutes I had it downloaded, so I was all sweet. One thing also I did straight away, only because I thought it would be useful for me to have, is a USB flash drive. So I already did a video I think on this a while ago on how to actually make a thumb drive with Leopard DMG, and yeah, I went through that in a separate video. If you want to check out that video, I might put a notation somewhere around here or a link in the description so you can check that out. So what I pretty much did was go straight into the installation file. I'll get to that. I might even make a separate video on this, who knows. But what I did was make a USB flash drive, bootable USB flash drive of macOS Lion directly from the DMG file. Now, DMG file is in the package contents. So even if you think, oh, the installation file did not have it, yes, it does have it. It's internally, you have to go into the package contents and actually find it. So yeah, this is what I was using to install all the betas. So betas of Lion were used with this particular one, so now it is actually the Lion bootable drive. Why, you ask, I actually decided to go the whole, bootable flash drive more so than a DVD drive. Well, frankly, I really don't use DVDs at all. Majority of my software now is completely digital and stored on a virtual server. I'm not going to say in the cloud, but yeah, works all good. Now let's have a look at Lion. So if we look at Lion here from the App Store, sorry, my internet is a little bit slow today considering I've just got capped, but let's take a look anyway. So this is the basic laydown. So basically when you want to download it, you just click on this and it will purchase it through your iTunes account, and then you just download it. You can download this as many times as you want through your iTunes account. I believe it's up to, I think, 5 or 10 times or something or other. So that is pretty sweet. Or you can actually just put it on one of these and install it on as many things as you'd like. But here we go, there's mixed reviews obviously here, and we'll get to that in a sec. So that is Lion, downloading it from the Mac App Store. So, what do we learn from Lion? Alright, so first things first, full screen. I'm going to go into Safari. Alright, here's full screen, brilliant. It works pretty well, and it works great with swiping and all that sort of stuff. Now this works great on the MacBook Air that I have, so that all the swipes I can try and all that sort of stuff. When you're dealing with something like a Mac Pro, and the fact is that I don't use the Magic Mouse on my Mac Pro, I use a Razer Death Adder laser mouse. One reason, it's a laser mouse and it's great for gaming. That's the main reason why I like it. The other reason is that I like a physical mouse with buttons as well on my desktop. When it comes to laptops, yeah, it's great to have, you know, the touchpad and all that sort of stuff. But when it's coming to navigation in terms of Lion, I'd have to say one thing about that is that you actually need to get the so-called desktop version of the trackpad. When I first looked at the trackpad when it came out, when I was using Snow Leopard, I pretty much said, why the hell would I use that? It's just a novelty. And I wouldn't use that type of thing on my desktop. I'm happy to use command and do the command button and do whatever I want that way. As I found, navigation is slightly difficult. It's noticeably difficult when you're just using a button mouse, especially in Leopard, because you need those gestures to navigate around more easily. In this case, you still have to use. In my case, it's better for me to get one of those because I'm missing out on a lot of navigation issues. I'd have to use the keyboard to do commands to do all the navigation abilities, like zooming in to web pages and all that sort of stuff, and swiping back and forth like this between applications, exactly like that. But one thing's for sure, I'm sticking with commands on the keyboard until I can get a trackpad available to me. So, full screen mode, not bad. Now Safari in general is pretty good anyway, as it was before. Tabs, whatever, everything else, whatever. One thing's for sure that I have noticed is that now when you download stuff with Safari, you can actually download it. There's no prompt anymore. It's all hidden. When you download it, and if you want to see how the download's going, there's a little progress bar that happens in there, or you can actually go in and have a look at how it's going. That I think's pretty neat because it keeps it all clean and you don't have to worry about that when you're in full screen mode. The other thing I thought was okay, but relatively very useless to what I would have, is reading list helps you collect web pages and links to read later. So this is similar to how it is set in Safari and iOS 5 on the iPad and iPhone. I don't use Reader. I don't think I have a use for it, so I'm going to move on. Okay. Alright, I'll actually get a full screen mode. Alright, so other features here we all know and love is obviously mission control. Here's mission control, yay! I'm not a big fan of the whole new way of doing spaces. Like, I was happy with being able to go up, down, sideways, and be able to span the spaces I wanted. And plus, you know, an application I use that has different backgrounds or different spaces, when I go to them, it doesn't work anymore because it obviously does it differently. But that's how you create a space. So all you have to do is add, add, add. So it's easier, but, you know, whatever. So here we go. There's a space. I can load up shit. Now I'm moving back. And here we go. Here, if I swipe that way, obviously, I will find the dashboard. So yeah, groovy. I can't really do much about that. Right. So other than that, they're pretty much the main highlighted features that I remembered in Snow Leopard. I'm sorry, Lion, in the keynotes on WWDC. So here we go. Scroll bars. Now, to me, it's not a big deal. Like I naturally do it in reverse. on the iPad, and I'm used to that type of scrolling, and when I went on desktop it pretty much didn't make a I got used to it in like 5 minutes. To me it's just natural now just to go back and forth. People that don't like it really fear change. I'm sorry, but you guys just fear change. So yeah, I'm even on the iPad, on the touchpad, it's natural. You just think as if you're using an iPad. Basically, if you're using a touchpad, it's the same principle, except you're doing it down instead of on the screen. You would go up and you go down to scroll. So that's not a big deal to me, but you can turn it off in the preferences somewhere, so it doesn't really, it's not a big deal. Alright, mail applications, that's also pretty good. So let's go into mail right now. So mail application, I love the fact that you can actually have threads now. The fact that you have all the individual mailboxes on the side of the old view, you can actually get rid of that or show it, whichever you want to do. I actually like it like this, set as really clean. It's like the iPad, you can just go at the top here. If I want to go to sent items, I can. If I want to go to notes, I can. If I want to go to anything else, I can. It's all there, it's all set, and I love it how it groups everything up like in threads, like you have on the iPad and iPhone. So it groups it well. This is probably the best mail version that's ever come out of Apple Mail, so this is very good. Now if we look at this and then we look at Microsoft Outlook 2011, now this doesn't have full screen mode. It doesn't utilize anything. Microsoft hasn't gone out and potentially updated it as yet, but if you take these side by side, okay, if you take these side by side, you can see Microsoft have attempted to actually do threading. As you can see here, you can actually go and do threads, see all your email, you can go through every thread. As you can see that quite easily, quite very good. So yeah, that's what Outlook offers, but you can't go into full screen mode, but you can use the feature that is in every Mac application now, and that is to resize from any corner, as you can see there. So the mail application, I have to say, is nice and clean and very good to use. Okay, many issues I found also with this particular one when I first got it. First things that broke. Log me in, because I use Log Me In to remote access my computers outside of my network. So when I'm on the run or got my iPad with me, I'm outside, I want to quickly check something on my computer or check some files on my computer, I use Log Me In service to do it. The issue that was happening was the fact that there was a black screen when you tried to Log Me In. So that's all sorted as far as I know. If you are experiencing those issues, I advise you to hit check updates and it will fix up that issue. It'll download the latest update and fix up that issue on your computers that have Lion on them. The other thing that happened, Vine server failed. Can't use Vine server anymore. Just doesn't work anymore. So until they actually update it for an Intel based system instead of Rosetta, we can only use something that is foreign, not foreign to Mac OS. It still exists. You can simply just go into it from shared preferences. This gives you the ability to do your shared type remote desktoping from, you know, your local network, you know, computer to computer, wherever it is on the network. And simply going into sharing and just ticking screen sharing and setting your computers up. You can even put in a VNC password for VNC viewers, so it's not too bad. And you can even put yourself in specific users, or you can put all access out there. It really doesn't matter. It works anyway. Works just as well as any other. So if I can just see here, I'll show you. I'm going to remote desktop my MacBook Air. There we go. There's my MacBook Air. There we go. Awesome. And it's just like I was on it. Works out beautifully. That's the MacBook Air. So it works a treat. Works very fast too. Considering I'm on a gigabit network anyway, internal network, it doesn't really, can't really say much about that. But yeah, remote desktop, that works brilliantly, and that fixes my other issue. The other issue was scanners. Scanners, I have a centralized multifunctional printer which is networked. It's situated in one location, it does all my printing, my scanning, my faxing, whatever. So, if printing still worked, scanner sharing did not work. Scanner sharing is when you stick a piece of paper into scanner, you press the menu on the actual physical copier, select the computer you want to scan to, and it scans to it in a physical file form, a JPEG form, or an email form, depending on what you want it to do on your network, or whatever preferences you have on your Brother. Yeah, it's a Brother multifunctional printer, obviously. So the scanner function didn't work, basically, and yeah, to a computer I couldn't send files that I scanned and whatever. But yeah, Brother's fixed that. Download the latest Lion update from the Brother website. If you have a Brother multifunctional printer, because it covers all Brother multifunctional printers, Apple, they've covered everything on that. Just go to the company website and just take that down and download it, and it should be fine. Other than those issues, everything has pretty much been pretty sweet. I haven't had any real issues besides that. I've been cleaning up a lot of the applications I have, obviously, that have been Rosetta type applications, but majority of those I never used anyway to begin with in a very long time. So that was pretty good. Overall performance, it's okay. It's not exactly the speediest thing on... Well, it is speedy, I have to say that. The recovery mode, though, I did not like that much. It is okay, but can be a little annoying when you didn't want to actually recover your documents and open applications when you rebooted. But yeah, I realised that you can untick it, and yeah, that's not too bad. Autosave, that's a pain in the ass. Don't like it, straight out. And I'm going to leave it at that, because I'm not going to explain anything about that. I just don't like it. Maybe that's just me, I'm happy to use it on the iPad or iPhone, but I just don't want to use it on my desktop. It's sort of crossing the line, though. Crossing the line. I'm not using my Mac Pro or my MacBook Air as a massive iPad, if that makes sense. Alright, Launchpad. Not bad. It's good because I don't have to use the dock as much as I want to anymore, and it also defers me from the fact that I don't have to use stacks anymore. Like, I'm starting to clean out my dock for applications that don't really need that more, and using Launchpad a bit more. So I can just choose my applications and I can run them all from Launchpad instead, and make folders and blah 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 blah. Ordinarily, when I did it before, I was able to, I just substituted by actually making stacks, which is similar to how you use folders in Launchpad. What I think is happening is that Launchpad was integrated because eventually they want to actually get rid of the dock and have a new way of integrating applications that you want to open through this Launchpad, which I think is, I don't know, a better way in some ways if you're not used to having a dock. But I do think on desktop, especially on Mac OS, it would actually potentially be good to have something newer than, just having a dock. If you can just get rid of your dock, you've got more real estate, you know, yeah, I know you can do auto hide and all that crap, but you know, if you don't have to go to your dock and you just, you know, do a gesture and boom, all your applications are there, you know, it's a better way in some ways. You might disagree, but you know, it's up to you if you fear change or not. Overall, I do reckon with all the full screen applications, with everything that Line has to offer so far, it is an extremely good thing to upgrade to. One thing though, if you've got a lot of applications that were meant for power PCs, I don't think you should upgrade. Or you should go through all your applications and, if you can, try to go to the Intel versions of them. But if you're using really, really old applications that no one updates anymore, then that's, you know, up to you, I guess. You know, get with the times. I don't know what to tell you, but anyway. Xcode runs exactly the same, by the way. The update just makes it full screen. There's no real differences in the Xcode version previous. Right. FaceTime itself obviously is integrated now, so I don't have to download it from the App Store. That's all well and sweet. And of course, let's look at Photo Booth. And obviously full screen. Yeah. Rightio. Let's take a look at good old Photo Booth. Take some photos with some effects. There we go. Twitter. Yeah, that's enough of that. You've pretty much seen all this type of stuff on the demo, so it's not real a big deal. Okay, I've covered most of this. As I said, if you think it's worth an upgrade, the only thing you're going to lose is the fact you're just going to have to accept change is what you'd have to really, really push on this. Change is the key word online. So if you want to do something like this and upgrade, I suggest you accept change, because this is a lot of changes. From jumping from Snow Leopard to Lion is a pretty big leap. So I would definitely consider yourself that a lot of things may not work in terms of applications. Hardware wise, not so bad. So it's okay. Okay, there's one other thing I wanted to say. Also, system preferences. Now, there are a few people out there that actually hate this new setup. To me, it's okay. I don't find it bad at all. I think it's okay. A lot of people like the old way because it was more detailed. System preferences was way more detailed there, and plus you could look at a lot of more information. Whereas this is a very basic representation of your system preferences. That was the only other thing. Right, so that is Lion for this year, 2011. There's no unboxing, obviously, because there was no box to open this year. So there we go. So we're going to look at iOS 5 very soon in another video, but for here is pretty much Lion. And yeah, see you guys later. Cheers.